It was a typical Friday night, the kind that promised a weekend of relaxation and escape from the drudgery of school. The rain drummed against the windows as I settled into the couch, a cozy blanket draped over my legs, ready for a horror movie marathon. My parents were away for the weekend, leaving me alone in the old house that creaked and groaned with every gust of wind. The eerie glow of the TV cast flickering shadows across the living room, creating a spooky ambiance that was perfect for the horror films I had lined up. Little did I know that the true terror wouldn't come from the screen, but from the chilling reality outside my front door. As the night deepened, I heard a faint sound, almost imperceptible over the howling wind. I dismissed it as a figment of my imagination, blaming the ominous atmosphere created by the storm. But then, the sound persisted, a rhythmic tapping that echoed through the silence of the house. Curiosity mingled with fear as I cautiously approached the window. Peering through the rain-streaked glass, I saw nothing but darkness. The motion-sensitive porch lights flickered on, revealing an empty front yard. I sighed in relief, convinced it was just a trick of the weather. Resuming my movie marathon, I tried to shake off the unease that lingered. However, the tapping returned, now accompanied by a low, guttural whisper that sent shivers down my spine. "Let me in," it hissed, barely audible but unmistakably real. Panic gripped me as I realized the intruder was not outside but inside my head. I shook my head, trying to dispel the unsettling thoughts, attributing them to an overactive imagination fueled by the horror films. But as I settled back into the couch, a new terror dawned, the realization that the porch lights hadn't flickered on this time. In the pitch-black darkness, I fumbled for my phone, my trembling fingers struggling to dial my neighbor's number. The call rang unanswered, intensifying my sense of isolation. I debated whether to call the police, fearing that they might dismiss my paranoia as a teenager's overactive imagination. Suddenly, the power went out, plunging the house into absolute darkness. My breath caught in my throat as I strained to hear any movement. In the black void, the tapping resumed, louder and more insistent, as if mocking my attempts to ignore it. With a trembling hand, I reached for a flashlight, the feeble beam revealing the sinister truth. Shadows danced on the walls, elongated and grotesque, moving with a life of their own. Panic consumed me as I stumbled through the house, desperately searching for a way out. As I reached the front door, I saw the silhouette of a figure, its eyes gleaming in the darkness. Paralyzed by fear, I watched as it approached, each step calculated and deliberate. Just as it reached out to me, the porch lights flickered back to life, revealing an empty doorway. Gasping for breath, I stumbled outside, the rain washing away the sweat that clung to my skin. As I stood on the porch, a neighbor's voice cut through the storm, asking if I was okay. I explained the chilling events that had unfolded, realizing how close I had come to a threat that remained hidden in the shadows. The following day, news broke of a nearby assault, sending shockwaves through the community. The intruder had targeted homes, preying on the vulnerability of those who believed they were safe. My heart raced as I considered the possibility that the figure in the darkness had been real, a malevolent force that I had narrowly escaped. The experience left me haunted, a lingering fear that clung to every shadow and dark corner. The advice I offer to anyone listening is simple but crucial. In the darkness, instincts become your greatest ally. Don't dismiss the eerie tapping or the guttural whispers. Sometimes the true horror lies not in the movies, but in the chilling reality outside your door. Stay vigilant, stay safe, and never underestimate the shadows in solitude. It was the summer of '96, the air thick with the scent of freshly cut grass and the promise of freedom. I was a teenager, navigating the awkward dance between adolescence and independence. Little did I know that my carefree days were about to be replaced by a nightmare that would haunt me for years to come. The setting sun painted the sky in hues of orange and pink as I sifted through my closet, exploring the realms of fashion that summer. One evening, as I tried on a new sundress, I noticed a flash of movement outside my bedroom window. Curiosity turned to dread as I found an anonymous note tucked into the folds of my freshly unpacked clothes. "You look beautiful in blue," it read. My heart skipped a beat, and a chill crawled up my spine. The innocent excitement of fashion turned into a paranoid unease. I dismissed it as a misguided prank, hoping that would be the end of it. Days passed without incident, and I convinced myself it was a one-time occurrence. But late one night, a soft tapping on my window shattered the fragile illusion of safety. I pulled back the curtain to reveal the haunting image of a masked face staring back at me. Panic surged through my veins as I recognized the familiar eyes behind the mask, Mr. Anderson, our next-door neighbor and a seemingly friendly family friend. The violation of my privacy escalated, leaving me paralyzed with fear. Terrifying notes appeared in the most intimate corners of my life, each one more threatening than the last. It was a sinister game, and I was the unwilling player. One evening, as shadows lengthened and the world grew darker, I heard the unmistakable creak of my bedroom door. There, in the dim light, stood Mr. Anderson, the mask now absent, revealing a twisted grin. My screams were silenced by his cold, gloved hand as he advanced, a predator closing in on its prey. In that moment of terror, a surge of adrenaline overcame me. I fought back with every ounce of strength, breaking free and racing through the house. Desperation fueled my sprint as I reached the safety of my neighbor's home, pounding on the door with trembling hands. The community rallied behind me, and the once trusted Mr. Anderson was exposed for the monster he truly was. The police were called, and the neighborhood united against the menace that had infiltrated our lives. As the court proceedings unfolded, it became clear that Mr. Anderson's sinister actions were not limited to me. The web of deceit he had woven ensnared others, leaving scars that would never fully heal. Behind the facade of a family friend lurked a predator, preying on the vulnerability of those who trusted him. In the aftermath, I found solace in the support of my community. Together we emerged from the shadows stronger than before. But the scars, both visible and hidden, served as a constant reminder of the darkness that could lurk behind familiar eyes. As the tale concludes, a solemn piece of advice lingers. Do not hesitate to seek help. In the face of danger, the strength of a community can be a lifeline. Be vigilant, stay connected, and together we can unmask the hidden predators that may dwell in our midst. The night air was thick with a tangible unease as my sister Emily and I ventured into the depths of the forest. We sought solace from the chaos of the world, a little pocket of tranquility. The dense canopy overhead swallowed the moonlight, casting eerie shadows that danced around us. The rustling leaves and distant howls of unseen creatures set the stage for what would become a night, etched in our memories forever. As we delved deeper, the serenity we'd hoped for gave way to a disconcerting silence. The trees loomed tall, their branches entwined like skeletal fingers reaching for the sky. A strange mist slithered through the underbrush, thickening with every step, obscuring the path behind us. The air grew colder, and the once familiar trail seemed to twist and bend in unnatural ways. A faint glow ahead beckoned us. Hesitant yet curious, we followed the spectral light deeper into the heart of the forest. The illumination revealed a clearing, a bizarre congregation of individuals, each more peculiar than the last. Their eyes glinted in the unearthly glow, and their whispers seemed to resonate with an otherworldly quality. Among them stood a figure, draped in tattered robes, with a countenance veiled in shadow. The air thickened with an unspoken tension, and an icy grip tightened around our hearts. My sister's grip on my arm mirrored my own fear. We felt like trespassers in a realm not meant for mortal souls. The figures turned toward us in eerie unison, their features contorted into unnerving smiles. One by one, they began to speak in a language that echoed like the scratching of claws on stone. Their words seemed to burrow into our minds, eliciting a primal fear that seemed to transcend language itself. In a sudden surge of panic, we turned to flee, but the forest had transformed. The path we'd taken had vanished, replaced by a labyrinth of trees that seemed to shift and move of their own volition. Every path we took only led us deeper into the heart of this haunting, surreal realm. The figures pursued, their whispers growing louder, their forms contorting into grotesque shapes that defied logic. My sister and I ran, our hearts pounding in terror, our breaths ragged against the oppressive silence. The forest seemed to warp and twist, trapping us in a nightmarish loop. Just as hope began to dwindle, a distant glimmer of light appeared. It was a familiar marker, a sign of the forest's edge. With a final surge of strength, we broke through, gasping for breath as we stumbled into the open, the moon casting its reassuring glow upon us. As we collapsed, shaken and breathless, a chilling realization washed over us. The figures hadn't pursued us beyond the forest's border. We were safe, but the horror we'd experienced lingered, etched into our very beings. Now, to those who dare tread into the unknown, heed this warning. Some places are not meant for mortal souls. The haunting forest, a twilight zone of unexplained terror, holds secrets beyond comprehension. Venture in at your peril, for not all who enter emerge unscathed. There are realms, far beyond our understanding, where fear takes on a form that seeps into the very fabric of our existence. And once it touches you, its chilling embrace never truly fades. Take heed, for some nightmares are more real than we can ever comprehend. The haunting forest, a mere whisper in the tales of the unknown, harbors terrors that defy explanation. Let it remain a mystery, untouched and unexplored, lest you become entangled in its sinister embrace.